There's a beautiful quote by Suzuki Roshi, who started the San Francisco Zen Center and is a renowned and deeply revered Zen master. He said, "I don't know anything about consciousness. I just want to help my students hear the birds singing." When I read this, I was so moved by the clarity of this and the compassion. Because ultimately, this is what it comes down to. It comes down to living your life without filters, specifically sense filters, meaning we don't filter this this possibility of clear, intimate, interconnected wonder. These words just all fail, but they're approximations. But what they point to is a very real possibility for you. It's the culmination of practice insights. It's the culmination of realization. Culmination of insights that are clarified through realization. And it's a satisfying way to live. It's a profoundly satisfying way to live. I've told this story before, but I thought it was so funny how it struck me that I'll just mention it again. But I think it was the last retreat I went to that was by another teacher. It was Adyashanti, maybe 6 years ago or 7 years ago. And I remember before the retreat started, I think even before everyone went into silence, but not sure about that. It was the first night, and they were going over the logistics, just kind of explaining retreat etiquette and so forth. And they said, if you're in a room, sharing a room with someone who snores, this is what you can do, right? It's like strategies to avoid the challenges that come out when you have a snoring roommate. And it struck me so clearly. It was like, man, if anyone here could hear what that sound actually is, if you could really hear it, you would not need to be at this retreat. And this struck me such a deep level. And it wasn't a negation of the value of retreat. It wasn't a negation of the value of practice. It was a recognition of the value of the deep insight, the non-dual insight, and the insight of anatta that is available to all of us. And it's also literally true. Doesn't mean that once certain insights have dawned, you'll never go to a retreat. You may or you may not. You may enjoy the environment, but you don't have to. You don't need that to wake up. The awakening is gone. The perceptual filters are gone. And you find yourself, so to speak, in this world of isness, as isness, which is an empty, full world, which is a radiant, mysterious, clear, spontaneous unfolding of who knows what. But it is intimate. It is familiar in a very primordial way. And then when you hear the bird call, you hear the sounds of the birds, you know exactly what he's talking about, Suzuki Roshi. It's completion. Not completion of a path for you, not completion of realization. It's a completion of the entire cosmos, everything that is and is not. Everything that breathes and does not breathe is appearing as that sound. That's the intimacy. It's incredible. It's also not held on to. There's nothing left to hold on to that. So it can be what it is, and it can also be what it's not. It can dissipate as seamlessly as it seemed to appear. This is what Suzuki Roshi was referring to. And I like the part where he says, I don't know anything about consciousness. I'm sure he does know something about consciousness. But the point he was making is probably we don't need to get too sidetracked with mechanisms and reifications of a background experience and so forth. The truth of Buddha nature, the truth of awake nature is literally right in front of our face. It's the bird call. It's even the stomach growling. It's the pain in the foot. It's all of it. Every seeming discrete aspect of it is the entirety. And this is just such a beautiful statement. It also shows his humbleness, and that was one thing many people referred to about him, is how humble he really is and was. Unassuming, compassionate, simple. Yeah. That's the embodiment of Buddha nature as the archetype of a Zen teacher, Zen master. Yeah.